Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I'm here with a few pages from my December album 2020. I'm using Hey Santa by Create Paper and this is for Lottie Loves Paper. So you can get the Hey Santa collection at Lottie Loves Paper. There's loads of it. It's a fabulous, fun collection. I'm mostly working with the 6x8 paper pad and white card, and then of course all of the embellishments. I do have some of the 12x12 sheets, but most of my Christmas scrapbooking goes into my December album every year. So I have already started I've already done my front, not my front cover, but my title page, and I didn't do that on camera. I did that off camera because I was really struggling with it. I wanted something simple and beautiful, and I was struggling to achieve that, but I have managed it. But I will show you a close-up at the end, but I don't have a process. I didn't film while I was doing it. So my December album that I do every year, I normally do in 6x8, and I do that in normally like a 6x8 binder album, you know, like a ring binder album that I get from, I do normally use either Simple Stories or Project Life, although Project Life have stopped doing them now, I think. So this year I'm definitely Simple Stories Snap Holiday album, and it's got the two binders in it, so the two big like book rings, and that's how all the page protectors go inside the album. So I'm going to do a mixture this year of some pages inside page protectors, some are going to be in split page protectors like this one on the right hand side, some will not be in page protectors, some will be in split page protectors that are four cards, 4 3x4 cards, so basically a whole mixture. So like I said, I'm working with the 6x8 paper pad by Create Paper Hey Santa, and what I do is I go through the paper pad and I put out all the patterns I want to use, and then I put them into my 6x8 page protectors, and then I basically so then I have my whole album set out ready to go, so I can just grab my piece of paper and then a piece of cardstock. So almost every page ends up being a white page on the left and then a colourful page on the right. So I say I've set up my whole album so that I've got all my patterns are already in. Now if I come to use a different type of page protector, so for example this one I'm using a split one where I've got two 6x4 pockets, then I'll just remove the 6x8 page protector I've already got in. I'll just save that for next time or for a different page, and then swap it over with this one, and then I can cut my paper and pop it in. So that's what I've done here. Oh, by the way, the other thing I should say is that I've gone through my album, pulled out all the papers. On the papers, on each paper in the 6x8 pad, there is a perforated strip. Now they have different perforated strips on each page to what is there. So if I have a green pattern paper, it might have a red perforated strip, for example, but it's another piece of a pattern from a different page in the 6x8 pad. So I carefully remove all of those as well from the 6x8 pad, and then I match those up with the coordinating piece of pattern, so that I have, because I'm doing 6x8 pages and I have one pattern and one white, then I have no more of that same pattern paper to go on the white page. So that's because I tend to use the whole sheet on the right hand side. So that small manufacturer strip but perforated strip, it's got the hole in it. It's where it hangs on the shelf, on the hooks in the stores. I carefully pull those off and I put those in with my white pages so that I have a small amount of the coordinating pattern on the white side of my page. So that's generally how I work and how I've been working for a few years now, and it just brings in a small amount of that pattern to the other side of the paper. So yeah. So anyway, my left side is now almost complete as I've been chattering away. I've got that strip of pattern at the bottom. So they have a hole in because of where they hang on the hooks in the store. So I just have to cleverly cover that up with something. So here I've got a big chipboard tree in the corner, and I've added So Magical, which is a little tab from the ephemera that is covering up the hole, and then I've added a couple of other little bits and pieces. Now over on the right hand side I'm doing a divided pocket, so 2 6x4s, and what I've just done on the top section there is I've cut my paper in half. So I've got a 6x4 piece at the top and a 6x4 piece at the bottom, and then on the top of on the top section I've taken a piece of vellum. I've cut it also to 6x4, and then I have taped it to the green piece with silver star washi tape, and I've stuck that on the front and on the back so that now I have a hinge. I'm also going to add some stitching there just to make sure that it doesn't come apart, but yes, I have this now flip up piece of vellum, and I like to have vellum and acetate and sparkly things in my album because, you know, it's Christmas, so you have an excuse to use all the things, and I really do like the different textures, so that's what I'm going for here. I'm on this piece of vellum. I've got the word merry. That's a die. So I've cut one in white and the outline in a green colour. That is from, I don't know if that's another piece of 6x8. It might be that I'm not using, or it could be from a 12x12. And then I've also cut some Christmas trees with a metal die as well. And I'm just going to stick those onto that piece of vellum there, and then I have the word merry that I'm just going to stick over the top as well, and that will be, I'm going to stitch through that as well with white thread, just to hold it in place. There we go, I've done it now. And now I have this lovely flip up, and underneath the word merry I'm going to have my number and a tag, and then I'll be able to write my journaling on that tag. And then at the bottom I've got a border of the green paper, the same green paper, and then I've put a photo placement piece of cardstock there, and that note on there says 6x4 photo day 2. So that is that day complete. So just before, I'm going to just add some silver washi tape to the bottom of that card as well, just to bring it in with the silver washi tape that I've got at the top. So yeah, actually what I'm doing is I'm making it slightly bigger because of the way that it pops out of the top of the pocket. I needed it to be slightly wider than what it was, or taller, sorry, than what it was. So I've just added a bit of washi tape there, and that actually does the job perfectly. It just makes it that tiny bit bigger. Okay, so that is my day 1 and day 2. And then I'm going to move on to day 3 and day 4. Now, before I move on, I'll just explain to you about my numbers this year. So for my first 10 days of December album videos, I have got these little numbers that are just 1-inch circles punched from white card with handwritten numbers on them, and that's because I was planning to make my own numbers this year, to make them digital and then print and cut on my silhouette, and that is what I have done. But at the point of filming these first 10 pages, I have number holders in place, but you will see the completed ones on my close-up photos at the end. So yeah, what I did was I bought from AC Digitals, American Craft Digitals, the Hay Center papers. So there's 2 different paper packs that you can buy, and I bought just one of them, and then I created my numbers in my Silhouette Studio software, and just just made circles and filled them with the patterns from the AC Digitals pattern pack, so that basically my numbers now coordinate with my papers, which is awesome. They don't coordinate every day. Like this one is red, for example. I don't have a red number on a red day, just because I just made them random, and I figured that it's all the same collection, so it all goes. So yeah, so that's, my numbers are all done, and they're all 1-inch squares. They're so not squares, they're 1-inch circles, and I'm just cutting those out on my silhouette, and then I'm actually cutting some more circles on my silhouette out of glitter cardstock, so every number will be backed on glitter as well. You'll see them at the end on the close-ups. So yes, anyway, that's my numbers, and that's why I currently am using number placeholders rather than the actual numbers. So now I'm working on page 3. So I'm now working, of course, on the back of my previous page protector. So that's a split pocket 2 6x4 pockets. So at the top I'm going to have my photo. So in theory this should be a white side. At the top I've got a 6x4 piece of white cardstock inside the pocket with a photo placeholder in just normal white card. So I need to add a 6x4 photo there. It will probably be less than 6x4, and so that I can see the border around the edge. Now on the other side I had the green paper, but this side of course is just white, so it won't be quite as good. So I'll take a view on that nearer the time when I get my photo. So in the bottom pocket, rather than have another white piece, I thought I'd mix it up a bit with some pink cardstock. It's my favourite pink. I think it's called Tutu Pink. It's really, really pretty, and it's one of my favourite colours from Basil cardstock. So I've just cut a 6x4 piece of that. I've added white stitching around the outside for a border. I've got my little manufacturing strip that's not a manufacturing strip, perforated strip across the bottom of the card. I've pulled out a tag from the ephemera that's the same pattern as the paper on the right hand side, so it all kind of brings it in and coordinates. And now I have a piece of ephemera which is like a journaling spot really. It's oval shape, white or cream oval in the middle with a black scalloped outline. So I'm now just taking my paper piercing tool and making holes all the way around the outline, and then I'm going to sew through that just with some red thread and like a back stitch, so quite chunky, 6 strands. I'm going all the way around the outside of that just to bring in more texture. I do like to have some sewing in my albums as well, so I'm going to have machine stitching in this album and hand sewing as well, and that's just going to go all the way around, and that gives me a nice little detail there. So that's that. So I've put some twine through my tag as well, and then just put it in my journaling spot, and then my number is going to kind of sit in between, and I'm going to add some other bits to there as well. Now over on the right hand side I'm going for rainbows because everybody loves rainbows. So yeah, I'm going for rainbows here. I've just pulled out all the rainbows on the that I could find in the collection, and actually I missed a couple. There's a puffy sticker and there's another sticker that I missed. I found them later. I've also die cut some stars, and they're just using metal dies out of white card. So I've got my 3 rainbows. One I think they're 2 stickers and 1 is a chipboard. And then I'm adding my little snowman as well. He's a puffy sticker. My number is going over on the right hand side, then the die cut star at the top. Actually I end up with 2 die cut stars there. And then I'm just adding that really super cute little mushroom. That's a chipboard piece. As I'm sat here thinking about this album, I've realised that what I should have done was taken off some of the thickness from the chipboard. Sometimes I do that and then sometimes I forget. So anyway, I have not done that this time, but they are very thick, the chipboards, which is not great for December albums, but especially mine, because I do 31 days, whereas some people only do up to day 25, but I do 31 days, so I need to keep my bulk quite as thin as I can. So there's my title page. There's pages 1 and 2, and then now you've got pages 3 and 4, which are complete. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. This is my foundation pages, obviously, and one day they'll have photos. Thank you so much for joining me. That was Nikki Rowland for Lottie Loves Paper.